The year is 2011, the video games industry was on fire. We get Batman, Skyrim, Dead Space 2, Pokemon Black and White, Uncharted 3, Portal 2, Infamous 2, Gears of War 3, Dark Souls, and many others. All these games are made by famous studios that have incredible teams, extremely professional game developers, artists, and musicians, with a budget of millions of dollars, and a whole community of fans that scream every time that their logo appears in a trailer. The industry was improving significantly. Each game was bigger than the other, with better graphics, better music, better gameplay, a bigger market, and a lot of money. In the same year, the world was introduced to two big game consoles, the incredible, powerful, and charismatic Nintendo 3DS and the PlayStation Vita, a console really loved by the PlayStation community. But apart from the spotlights and the big announcements, some small and unknown games were being released too. Games that nobody really cares and you probably never heard about them before. They are Terraria, a game created in 151 days by two people, The Binding of Isaac, a game created by only two people for a week-long game jam, and of course, Minecraft, a game created by only one person. These titans changed the term indie games forever. And of course that indie games already exist way before them, but these titles change their reputation forever. An indie game no longer means a small game that you do for a summer project. This game shows the public that you don't need millions to make a good project. In fact, you will realize that you don't need nothing, just passion. Hello everyone, I'm Mesquita, and today we'll see how these small games went from being titles most people barely notice to consistently taking the spotlights from the big AAA games. This is both a story of ascension of the indie games and a collapse of the AAA games. So make sure to subscribe and like the video, and let a comment to help with the engagement. Let's get started. We all know that a game is something really complex, and as time passes, they get even more complex, and more people are necessary to make them. So a big project needs more people, that's the logic. So the prejudice against small games are something logical? I mean, if 100 people and almost a decade is necessary to create a game, what two or even one person can do? It's impossible to something so complex be created by someone without any resource and time, right? Right? That's the perception that these small and unknown developers slowly destroy along the years. None of them made a market campaign saying that they would create the most perfect game with a huge attention at every tiny detail. Some of them just make games for fun or to pay the bills, or purely because it was their dream. They create them without knowing if someone would even play them, but they put love and effort despite the result. And in the end, they create games that change the entire industry of video games. One of the most famous examples is Eric Baron, the guy who created Stardew Valley just because he wasn't happy with the situation of the Harvest Moon franchise and decided to create his own Harvest Moon with just a PC. He took 4.5 years to finish the development completely alone. Baron has no idea that he would create a game that the whole community of fans would fight just to be able to date a married woman. Lucas Pope was the developer of Papers, Please and The Return of the Obra Dinn, two games that combine an unusual gameplay with ethical dilemmas, investigation, and narrative depth. Pope was an ex-developer of Naughty Dog. He helps with the development of both Uncharted 1 and 2. After that, he and his wife decided to move to Japan to focus on independent game development. And in 2013, Papers, Please was released, and 5 years later, Return of the Obra Dinn was released in 2018. Of course that these examples of indie games that made success are the minority. You just need to open the itch.io homepage to see a million of games, and the majority of them are bad. But in the middle of that ocean, you'll find some games that when you start to play, you can feel the enormous amount of love put on it. And for me, they are the reason why nowadays some people prefer small games than the big ones. They have all the benefits of a good game, like a good soundtrack, a good art style, a gameplay with a lot of creativity, without the bad sides that some studios have, like took years to launch a sequel, locked content that are supposed to be free behind a paid DLC, and much more. And on the other side, the big companies are starting to realize that the communities they've spent years building, the people who love their games, projects, and ideas, are gold mines that stay loyal despite their mistakes. And they start to make more and more bad decisions, trying to make as many money as possible from the love of their fans. I can mention several examples, like the loot boxes and caches, the decision to remove content that are supposed to be in the base game and put them behind a paid DLC, a wild variety of versions of the same game that gives you access to more game content, the fake market campaign, fake promise, fake graphics, and many others. I won't talk much more about the AAA games because the focus of the video are the indie games. But in the future, I can make a video just about AAA games. Who knows? If you wanna see a video about this, let me know in the comments. So as the years passed, the game industry was divided more and more into two different categories, and each category seems to don't care about the other. While the big games are suffering delays, a lot of games got cancelled, many companies get layoffs, and some studios shut down, the indie ones are getting more and more space, breaking records, announcing sequels, DLCs, and some of them free and much more. And some of them even go to the Game Awards, like Balatro, Hades, Celeste, Inscription, Stray, and Expedition 33 or Expedition 33. It's safe to say that the indie games will gonna save the game industry while the big ones are trying to destroy it. Well, it's sad to see companies that were once loved slowly become the bad guys. But we can still hope for a better future because the future is indie. Thank you for watching the video until this point. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you later. Bye.